Hey, it's Chris Chico, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how we made $33,876.25 on the crappiest mobile home that you have ever laid your eyes on, located in the state of Florida. And we did this without ever having to set foot inside of the property, because when you see this property, you're going to realize that we wouldn't have wanted to set foot in this property. We never personally met the owner, never personally met the buyer. In fact, we did not even own this property. And what I'm going to do is that rather than sit here and explain to you how we did the deal, I'm going to peel back the curtain. I'm going to show you exactly how this deal went down, what we did, and all the details. So that way you could replicate the same thing. I'm going to share with you where the property was located, how the property looked like, what we initially got it for, how we found the buyer, what the negotiations ended up being like, and everything all the way to the very, very end. The reason for that is a lot of times with these tutorials that you see here on YouTube, they talk a little bit theoretical type of deals. You know, they kind of explain things in a roundabout way. And I figured, what's the best way to learn? The best way to learn is to peek over somebody else's shoulder and be able to see exactly what they did. And that's what we're going to be doing here. And I'm going to do that in the most sophisticated, most glorious way that I know how. And that is with a simple Google Doc, because here the information is key, not the presentation. So this particular deal was at 8325 Gibson Oaks Drive in Lakeland, Florida. And I'm sharing you again the address of the property because I want to make sure that you understand that this is a real deal. No puffery here. So let's walk through all the details. Now, as I walk through these details, if you feel that I missed something, or maybe you want a clarification on something, go ahead and make a comment and ask me that question. I'll go back through the comments, answer your questions, and or we'll potentially do another video covering those topics. So let's first take a look at the Zillow report and see how the property shows up online. This is the property. This is how it showed up. Nothing. You don't see anything. That's because the property is located on a fairly large lot, and it was difficult to see the property from the Google Street View. The Zen estimate shows is $190,000. And here is what the property looks like in Google Maps. You can see that it isn't in the most populated area. It's in a populated near Lakeland, Florida, which is here at the south. But this particular property was located toward the outskirts here. Now, if I go ahead and I do a satellite view, you can see here, this was the property here. And that's why we can't see it, because there's a lot of trees here around the property. This is what the property looked like. It was a double wide trailer. And as you can see here, it was in really, really bad shape. This is the interior of it as well. And this is the other picture of the interior. Now, these we got from the property owner, and that's how we got those photos. And you can see that it looked like it hadn't been lived in for a bit. And there's a reason why. So let's talk about the property situation. This property came in, and this property was obtained through our advertising and marketing. And I'll tell you what that was in a second. And they said that they wanted $60,000 for this property. So we're already at a price that is significantly below what Zillow says. And obviously we're going to investigate. We're going to do a little bit more due diligence. All this we do online, strictly on Zillow. And this is what the information was that was presented to you about the property. Double wide trailer. So 2 trailers put together, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Condition is pretty bad. The husband was the one that stayed at the property, and unfortunately he passed away, and the wife wanted to sell it. It needs a total gut. It was and 1.20 acres, which is a pretty big lot. They wanted about 40 to 45,000. So even though they put $60,000 as the asking price already, these are the notes from our salesperson already on the phone. They said they would take less. They mentioned that the lot could be buildable, and they were thinking about listing it for 125,000, and the property was fenced in. Now, we found the property through our advertising. We specifically do Facebook ads in order to find motivated sellers. So we go out and put these ads on Facebook. We spend about $20 a day. And this is what the ads look like, specifically that we're running right now, and also the ones we were running at the time that the lead came in. And it just simply offers a property owner to simply fill out a form. And at that point, then they can receive an offer. And that's why you see this here. This is how it was sent to us inside of our lead management system. The person, when they click on the link, come to our website. This is the website, how it looks like. They're provided with some information about the company, and then they can go ahead and click on the button here in order for them to submit their information. Now, remember, the property owner was asking $60,000. That's what they put on the form. When our salesperson spoke with them, they said that they would maybe take 40 to 45. What did we end up picking up that property for? Well, we picked up the property, or at least put it on the contract, because we didn't own the property. We didn't we, this is a wholesale transaction where we're simply finding the sellers through our advertisements, and then we're going ahead and finding the buyers. We're playing matchmaker, and we're just selling the buyer our contract on the property. So we're never really putting our money at risk or closing on these properties. So we ended up getting the deal for $35,000, which is a pretty good discount considering the condition of the property, etc. So how did we find the buyer? Once we have the property under contract, then at that point, then now we're going to try and sell that contract and find an investor buyer. And we're typically looking for real estate investors that are looking to buy properties like this that need a lot of work. They're going to go ahead and fix up the property and then do something else with the property. That something else could be that they're going to go ahead and rent it out and keep it in their rental portfolio, or maybe they might fix it up and then put it back on the open market in order to sell it. Now, the best way to sell our contracts is to just find investors that are always looking for deals, that are professionals. That's all they do. They're used to working with people like me that are the contract flippers. And they love to hear from us when we have a deal that they think it's a great deal. Now, how do you find these people? These people are in the public records, meaning that you can go in the public records and you can look and see, hey, who bought a property in this area in the last 6 months that's an investor, and you can find out that information. However, it's tedious to go into the public records and do that. So we use some tools and a few other things in order to find those individuals. I'm going to actually share with you the two that we use specifically, and that way you can figure out which one potentially would be the tool for you. One of the tools that we use is a tool called Investor Lift. And you can go, there's a link in the description where you can go using my link. I'll get a small referral, but you'll get a discount, chrischico.com/investor lift. And this particular tool just takes all the buyers all across the country and compiles them into a simple database that then we can just simply query and say, hey, I want all the buyers in one particular area. And then they'll be able to give us that list, and then we'll just contact them. This one here is a professional grade tool. The cost might be cost prohibitive for you if you're just starting out and on a tight budget. So alternatively, you can use a tool like Propelio. Propelio, again, you can use my link. You'll get a discount on the free trial, chrischico.com/Propelio. That link will be in the description. And so this is a great tool, not as elegant. So I would look at it as if you had the opportunity to drive a Mercedes-Benz to go to the grocery store. You get to go to the grocery store, pick up your food, and then you get to relax in these leather seats and, the leather on your butt and, just the way you feel overall. It's amazing. But if you didn't have a Mercedes, maybe you might have a Ford Fusion. And in the end, it'll still get you there. Maybe it's not going to be as elegant, but still, nevertheless, you'll get your groceries and you'll still eat today. That's what we're talking about here. The Investor Lift is a tool that has a lot of bells and whistles, but it might be cost prohibitive, whereas Propelio is a less expensive tool that then would allow you to accomplish the same thing, except you might going to have to do a little bit more work on the back end, but it's okay. At the end, it still gets you there. So we found a buyer using these tools, and we ended up selling the property to one of these buyers. And again, I'll clarify that we ended up selling the contract, not the property, because we didn't own the property. We just had a contract that said that we could buy it for this price. And we went out and found an investor buyer that was able to pay us here. And you can see here in the box in red, they agreed to pay us a total purchase price of $70,000, which included $35,000 for the original owner and $35,000 finder fee for us. And that is the agreement that we signed in order to take our original contract with the property owner and transfer it to the new buyer so that they can go ahead and close on the property. And then the day of closing, we ended up getting a check for a little bit less than $35,000, because in this particular situation, we agreed with the property owner to cover their property taxes. So we ended up making $33,876.25 on a deal, again, that we never saw. We never met with the property owner, never met with the buyer, and we never owned, but yet we made a significant amount of money on this deal. Now, you might be asking, why would the owner sell the property for significantly less than market value? Did you do anything wrong? No. What they did is they traded part of their equity for convenience. They wanted a quick sale. And this particular property, they had some obstacles to overcome because it was in probate and they didn't know how to navigate around that. So we helped them along with that. And that's how we were able to obtain the property at a significantly lower price, because the property owners were willing to, again, trade their equity for something else. Now, the buyers, they were happy because they have an amazing deal. That deal would be hard to find otherwise. And so they were very happy to pay us that finder's fee. Now, if you want to know more details about this particular strategy and how exactly this whole thing is done, Go ahead and click on the next video here that you see pop up, and that will take you to another training where it'll walk you through step by step and exactly how to do this.